Hello friends! So you may or may not know this, but my parents and I recently went to Walt Disney World twice, which is super exciting and something that I never in a million years thought would happen. And I just thought that since we probably won't be going again anytime soon, I would give you guys a little overview, like the pros and cons of what happened on our trip. Like the things that we thought went really well and were really cool and I would totally recommend to people, and the things that I wasn't so keen on that I maybe would suggest not doing. So, first of all, we're gonna talk about the pros, or the good things that I would totally recommend. On our first day in Magic Kingdom, we went to be our guest for lunch. I believe it's the only quick service restaurant that offers reservations. It's quick service for lunch and table service for dinner. And so we got the lunch reservation, and we got there and we had to wait in a really long line because we didn't order our food ahead of time. But once we got in, I mean, the restaurant is amazing, like especially if you love Beauty and the Beast, because you get to eat in the ballroom where they dance, and it was really cool. And the food was amazing. I got the carved turkey sandwich, and I had the master's cupcake, which has the gray stuff that I tried because the dishes said that it was delicious. Anyway, I would totally recommend Be Our Guest. The second thing that I would totally recommend is eating at Pinocchio Village House, or House, however you want to say it. We ate there on our Halloween trip, and like I didn't really expect too much of it, like I thought it was really cute. I knew that you got to look into It's a Small World, so that's kind of why I wanted to eat there. But like I got the pepperoni flatbread and oh my god, it was amazing, and it was totally unexpected. And we did get to sit next to It's a Small World. There's only like 4 tables I think that are next to It's a Small World, so if you really want one of those tables, you might have to wait a little while. And it's really fun because you get to wave at everybody, and they had little signs that you get to hold up. If you look at my video, I think it's the We're Back at Walt Disney World one, you'll get to see like one of the signs says do the chicken dance, and you hold it up and the people in It's a Small World start doing the chicken dance. And halfway through this, my dad just turns around and looks at us and he goes, "This is hilarious!" And so yeah, we had a really good time there. But if you can't get a table by It's a Small World, I still totally recommend eating there because there's a lot of seating, like indoors and outdoors, and the food, at least the flatbread, was amazing. So my next restaurant that I have on here is the Sci-Fi Dine-In, which is in Disney's Hollywood Studios, played by Star Tours. And if you've never been to Sci-Fi Dine-In, it's like you're eating at a drive-in movie theater. It's really cool. You get to watch like campy old sci-fi stuff, which the loop is about an hour on the sci-fi stuff, because I had heard that you'd be watching it over and over. You're only watching it over and over if you're there for more than an hour, which unfortunately we were, and that was the only reason I hesitated to recommend this place. I had a burger and it was really good, but the service was really slow. And by the time we finally got our milkshakes, I was freezing cold and we needed to hustle over to Star Tours to use up our Fastpasses. But I highly recommend the milkshakes because we got the sci-fi specialty milkshake, I think it's called, and it was s'mores and it was really good, but only if you eat it outside because it was freezing cold in the restaurant. And I guess if you live in Florida, that's like totally normal, but we're from Michigan. So the next restaurant I have on my list is Cinderella's Royal Table, which I know is a big thing that everybody wants to do. I don't think I would ever go back there, but it's totally worth doing just for the experience. If you don't know what Cinderella's Royal Table is, it's the restaurant that is inside Cinderella Castle. It's really cool. You get a meet and greet with Cinderella, and once you get upstairs, you get meet and greets with 4 other princesses. So we got Princess Aurora, who is Sleeping Beauty, Princess Ariel, who's Little Mermaid, Princess Jasmine from Aladdin, and Snow White. They give all the girls wands and all the boys swords, and so they did like this wishing ceremony, and we got to wave our wands and swords around and make a wish or something. I'm not entirely sure what happened. It's probably more fun for little kids. But it's just really cool because you're in the castle and like it looks like it's in a castle. My mom and I actually got the chocolate slippers, which you have to pre-order, but you can do that. You have to contact the Disney cake makers or something. And we were there during Wishes. So while we were eating our chocolate slippers, Wishes started and they piped in the music and we got to see some of the fireworks. From where we were sitting, we couldn't really see them all. But it was just like eating our desserts and listening to the Wishes music. It was so great. So that's an experience that I totally recommend at least once. I don't think I would ever go back, but it's something that everyone should experience once. Another thing that I recommend, and this is something that you will totally find on like articles on Pinterest and stuff, is always going to the second showing of a parade or a show. Or if you can't watch the second showing, definitely try to watch the parades from Frontierland because you can get spots way easier there than you can on Main Street. Speaking of shows, my favorite Disney show is Fantasmic! If you've watched my Hollywood Studios vlog, you probably know that. And something that I would totally recommend is getting to Fantasmic like an hour or so earlier. We actually got just some fruit because we weren't even hungry because we'd had Sci-Fi Dine-In for lunch. So we got some fruit and we found our spot on the risers and we sat there and ate it. The spots filled up really quick, so I'm really glad that we got there early. They do like a dance party where they just play music and they want everyone to like sing, and like when we were there people were like doing the wave and stuff and it was really weird. But I'm a huge Fantasmic fan, so of course I wanted to be there early so I could get a good spot that was like kind of in the middle. It was right when they were opening up seating that we got there. So like you hear them come over the loudspeakers and they say, hey, seating for Fantasmic is now open, so like go there right when they say that, basically. Another thing that I totally recommend is using the app if your phone is compatible, because you can see what times characters are gonna be out, wait times for rides, and you can change your fast passes. You don't have to go to a Fastpass kiosk. I also totally recommend doing Fastpass Plus. I don't know why you wouldn't, especially if you have scheduled your stay really early, because you can get fast passes for the really popular rides like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Peter Pan's Flight, or any of the mountains. Unless you want to wait a really long time, I totally suggest doing that. Take your time. I don't know how it is with kids, but like for me and my family, we don't want to be just like, let's get to the next ride, let's get to the next ride, let's do this, you know? We want to sit down and take a breath of fresh air and just like soak in the Disney atmosphere, because that is my favorite thing about Disney, is especially at night when you get to just sit down and say, I'm in Disney and this is amazing, and the music and the lights, and it's great. So definitely, I mean, have a rough plan, like, you know, we're gonna do Tomorrowland and Fantasyland today, but I would say definitely don't plan out like every single minute, because then you can't just sit there and enjoy yourselves. That's just my opinion on things though. So I think that's about it for my pros. So now on to the cons. So these are some things that I wouldn't recommend doing that we did, or things to just think about. I'm not saying definitely don't do them, because everybody's opinion is gonna be different. But, so the first thing that I don't think I would do again is, everybody always says do character meals instead of meet and greets because you'll get more characters, you'll get more autographs, but I actually am not a fan at all of character meals. You only get like a couple seconds with each character, and I was lucky because at Supercalifragilistic Breakfast I did get a little bit more time with them, but especially at Cinderella's Royal Table it was like 2 seconds. And I didn't have an autograph book, so we just took a picture on our camera because there's no PhotoPass photographers. So I mean, if you're like me and you're really into meeting the characters, I would suggest going to meet and greets and not character meals, because you get more time with them, you get a PhotoPass photographer in case, you know, your pictures don't turn out that great, you know that there's a professional taking it. Also in character meals, oftentimes you can't eat because the characters are coming, and one time, I had just put a piece of chicken in my mouth, and I turned around and Ariel is there saying hi, and I'm like, you know. Another thing, speaking of food, that I totally question is the Disney dining plan. We got the Disney dining plan every time that we went except for the last one, because it was only like 2 days. And I just really question its value. we actually had a whole quick service meal left over because we didn't plan on the fact that we wouldn't be hungry. So I just feel like you're wasting money when you buy the dining plan because you don't know what you're gonna eat. I mean, unless you are really big into eating and you know that you are going to eat 2 full meals every day with the food and a drink and a dessert, because a lot of times we ended up throwing our dessert away. Definitely look into whether or not you really want the dining plan. Speaking of the Disney dining plan, oh, I should have brought it upstairs with me, I don't have it, but I'll put a picture here. With the Disney dining plan, you get the resort mug that's only refillable in the resorts. I would totally say don't get this if you're not on the dining plan because it is useless. Unless you are going to be staying in your resort for a long period of time, I would say definitely don't get it. It leaks all over the place if you bring it with you to the park. I tried to put, like, you know, I got a Coke with my meal or whatever, and I would try to put it in my mug to take it with me, you know, because it's a mug. Well, it turns out that the top does not seal very well, so when I just put it in, like, my backpack and then I, like, walk, the liquid starts spilling out the sides. It's great. My dad's backpack, like, everything in it got ruined because he put his mug in there with his pop and it leaked all over the place. So I strongly advise against getting a mug if you're not on the dining plan, and if you are, I mean, you might as well get it since it's free. Another thing that was kind of a con of our trip is that we really wanted to see all the resorts while we were there because we'd never done that before. And what we came to realize is that resort hopping is incredibly difficult. Unless you just want to see the resorts on the monorail, which are, you know, the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, the Contemporary. So if you just want to see those ones, that's pretty easy to do because you just hop on the monorail. But if you want to see anything else, it's very difficult because there's no buses in between resorts. You have to be prepared for the fact that you're going from a resort to a park to another resort, back to a park, back to another resort. It's very time consuming. Speaking of resorts, we stayed at the Art of Animation when we went, and it was really cool. We stayed in the Little Mermaid rooms. It was great. The theming is fantastic, but the Little Mermaid rooms are a very long walk, which my parents did not like after a long day of walking at the parks. Another thing that kind of sucks is getting sick. It may happen. Both my parents got sick in August, so just make sure that you are prepared for that and you bring medicine. And last time we went, in October, we were super excited to try the candy corn ice cream for Halloween. Don't get it. It's just vanilla ice cream. It's just vanilla ice cream with some candy corn at the bottom. I mean, if you want vanilla ice cream, that's fine, but just, it's not anything special. It's not candy corn flavored or anything, so. And I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching as always, and thank you so much to my 22 subscribers. I really appreciate it that 22 people want to watch my videos, so thank you a lot. I love you guys. And also I have a Facebook page. I put a link below. I will try to post some more Disney stuff because I love Disney.